Hey, Jason here from Simply Swider. If your Maytag washer won't start, don't panic. I'm going to walk you through 9 common causes and their fixes. In the next 15 minutes, you'll learn solutions that could save you hundreds in repair costs. Most of these problems are actually simpler than you'd think. Before we get started, if you run into any questions, jump into our Facebook group. Links in the description. We've got thousands of people helping each other fix their appliances, and I pop in there daily to help out. All right, so picture this. It's Sunday morning, you've got your coffee ready to tackle that pile of laundry, and boom, your Maytag washer won't even turn on. I get calls about this all the time, and I'm going to walk you through 9 different causes and how to fix every single one of them. These range from super simple stuff like user errors to more complex issues with control boards and switches. Before you start tearing into your washer, always try resetting it and running the diagnostic mode. These 2 steps can save you a ton of time and money. To reset your Maytag, unplug it for about 15 seconds, then plug it back in. You can also try holding the start pause button for 3 seconds or opening and closing the lid 6 times in 12 seconds. For diagnostics, you'll rotate the selector dial counterclockwise, set it to normal, then turn it 3 clicks right, one left, one right. When you do this correctly, all the lights should start blinking except the lid lock light. Keep following the sequence and the washer will display any stored error codes. Now, reading these codes gets pretty technical, so keep your owner's manual handy. Codes like F1E1 mean control unit problems, F5E3 is door lock issues, F7E6 points to motor problems. These codes are like a roadmap telling you exactly where to look. Let's start with the obvious one, no power coming in. I know it sounds basic, but trust me, this is probably 60% of the calls I get. Your washer can't start if it's not getting juice. Here's what you're looking for: loose wall outlets, damaged power cords, tripped circuit breakers, or bent plug prongs. Sometimes it's just a loose connection between the plug and outlet. If your power cord has a built-in fuse, that might have blown too. Before you start, turn off power at the breaker for safety. For diagnosis, you'll need a simple outlet tester or another appliance to test the outlet. Visually inspect the power cord for damage, then check if your circuit breaker has tripped. You'll see it in the middle position between on and off. You can see right on the screen the common power cord issues to look for. If the cord's damaged, you're looking at maybe 20 to 40 bucks for replacement, way cheaper than calling someone like me out there. All right, so this one might sting a little, but sometimes it's just user error. Don't worry, happens to everyone, especially folks who just got their first Maytag. I had this customer last month call me in a panic because her brand new washer wouldn't start. Turns out she'd accidentally hit the child lock and didn't realize it. 20 minutes later, problem solved. Here's the stuff to check. Did you activate child lock by mistake? Is there a delayed start function running? Some washers need you to hold the start button for a few seconds, not just tap it. Make sure both your hot and cold water valves are fully open. Oh, and here's a big one. You actually got to select a wash cycle. The machine's not a mind reader. Don't forget to check if the power cord's properly plugged in. Make sure you're not overloading the machine and verify that door or lid is completely closed and locked. These front loaders especially won't budge if that door isn't latched properly. Sometimes your washer just gets stuck in its own head, if you know what I mean. Software glitches can jam up the whole system and prevent it from starting. What happens is the communication between different components gets scrambled. Maybe the control panel software hiccups and can't talk to the control board properly. Sometimes the timer gets confused and won't send the right signals to start a cycle. Power outages can really mess things up too. The washer doesn't always reset itself when the power comes back on. Here's the good news: this fix takes less than 10 minutes and costs nothing. First, unplug your washer from the wall outlet. Wait exactly 5 minutes. This allows all capacitors to discharge completely. Plug it back in, and the system will reset to factory defaults, clearing any software errors. Your owner's manual will have specific reset instructions for your model, but unplugging usually does the trick. Now we're getting into the actual components. The lid switch on top load washers is what tells the control board whether the lid's open or closed. When this little guy goes bad, your washer thinks the lid's always open, so it won't start. The lid switch is located directly under the lid. You'll see a small plastic piece that the lid presses down on. Replacement parts cost $10 to $50 depending on your model, and this is a beginner-friendly repair. Your washer will display error codes F5E1, F5E2, or F5E3 when this switch fails. Visually inspect the switch for any damage or if it's come loose. Here's a quick test. You can bypass it temporarily with some duct tape or a magnet to see if the washer detects the lid is closed. For a proper diagnosis, use a multimeter to test continuity. No reading means the switch is shot. While you might be able to repair it, honestly, just replace the whole lid lock assembly. They're cheap and pretty easy to swap out. Front load washers have door locks instead of lid switches, and they work the same way. They tell the control board when it's safe to start a cycle. When the door lock fails, the washer doesn't know the door is closed. These door locks can wear out over time. The internal circuits get damaged, wiring gets loose or corroded, or the lock gets misaligned. Sometimes there's just debris stuck in there preventing it from engaging properly. You'll find the door lock inside the door frame where the door closes. Look for visible damage like burns, cracks, or excessive wear. Check the rubber seal around the door for any obstructions. Use your multimeter again to test for continuity. If it's just misaligned or loose, you can adjust or tighten it. Damaged wiring and loose connections are fixable too, but if the lock mechanism itself is bad, you're looking at replacing it, anywhere from 20 to $100 depending on your model. The control panel is basically the brain of the operation. When it goes bad, it can't receive or send the signals needed to start your washer. Sometimes it's simple stuff like a stuck start button. Other times it's more complex, damaged internal components, bad connections, or the display itself going out. I've seen control panels get fried from power surges too. If buttons feel sticky or unresponsive, that's your first clue. The display might be flickering or showing weird characters. Sometimes certain cycles work, but others don't. You can try cleaning around the buttons with some compressed air or a slightly damp cloth. Make sure all connections behind the panel are tight. But if the control panel's truly fried, you're looking at 50 to $300 for a replacement. At that point, you might want to call a pro to make sure it's worth fixing. Here's where things get a bit more technical. The timer and control board work together to coordinate all your washer's functions. When either one fails, your washer might not start at all, or it might only work on certain cycles. The control board is like the computer. It processes signals from all the switches and sensors. The timer controls when things happen during the wash cycle. Both can fail from age, power surges, or just normal wear and tear. Diagnosing these requires running those diagnostic codes I mentioned earlier. Error codes like F1E1 point to control unit problems, while F1E2 indicates motor control issues. Important safety note. Always disconnect power before working on control boards. Testing and replacing these components is advanced level work requiring electrical knowledge. Parts cost $100 to $400, and improper installation can damage your entire washer. If you're not experienced with electrical repairs, this is definitely a job for a professional technician. The motor is what actually runs your washer, and the capacitor helps it start up. When either one fails, you might hear clicking sounds, humming, or nothing at all. Capacitors are especially common failures. They help the motor get the initial boost it needs to start spinning. When they go bad, the motor can't overcome its starting resistance. If you're getting error codes like F7E6, that's pointing to motor or capacitor issues. You might hear the washer trying to start, but it just can't get going. Capacitors are relatively cheap, maybe 15 to $30. Motors are obviously more expensive. But here's the thing. Diagnosing which one's bad and replacing them involves working with electrical components. Unless you're really comfortable with that stuff, this is definitely a job for a professional. You can see on the screen right now the most commonly affected Maytag models that have these starting problems. The Centennial series, especially these top load units, tend to have lid switch issues more frequently. The front load models shown here often develop door lock problems after a few years of use. These Bravo series washers displayed here are notorious for control panel issues. I've replaced more control panels on these than I care to count. Don't ask me how I know that. The newer models with all the electronic controls seem to have more software glitch problems, while the older mechanical models usually have timer issues. What you'll notice with these units on screen is they all share similar components, so the troubleshooting steps I've shown you apply across the board. Here's your action plan. Start with the 5-minute fixes. Check power, verify settings, and try a system reset. These solve 70% of no start problems. If those don't work, move to the 30-minute fixes like lid switches and door locks. Save the advanced electrical work for professionals unless you have experience. Remember, even paying for professional help on complex issues still saves money compared to buying a new washer. Most of the time, it's going to be something simple like a trip breaker or the child lock being activated. But even the more complex repairs can save you hundreds compared to calling a repair guy. If you guys know someone who's having appliance troubles, please send them the link to this video or a link to my channel where I have tons of other videos showing how to fix pretty common issues with appliances, sometimes for free or as little cost as possible. It sure beats having a repairman come out and spending several hundred for them to fix it when it could be something so simple. If this helped you get your Maytag washer working again, hit that like button and drop a comment below. Let me know which fix worked for you. Really helps other people with the same problem. And if you haven't already, please subscribe to the channel. We'll get this out to more folks who need to save some time and money. Thanks for watching, and I hope you guys have a great day.